Welcome back to IoT Made Simple. Today what we're going to do is we're going to connect our ThingsBoard professional version with our ChirpStack so that we can take the data from our sensors in ChirpStack and send that data up to ThingsBoard and then process that data a little bit further and then create a dashboard. So we'll go step by step on how to do this. So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is go to ThingsBoard. We'll go to integrations and you'll click on the plus over here. And then underneath the integration type, there's a whole bunch of different ones. Now, you might ask, why am I not using ChirpStack? It does work for the uplink, but I've found problems with the downlink. So I've migrated over to using HTTP, and it's been much more consistent for me. Any comments that you have with that, that'd be great. If ChirpStack does work great in the future, I may go back to it, but the HTTP has worked really well for me. So you click HTTP here, and then we click next. And then what this does here is this takes the data that is being sent up when your codec does processing in ChirpStack. So if we're back here in ChirpStack and we look at our device profiles and then we go to the codec, on the output of this data, this return data here, we need to process that data here so that we can then get it ready for our specific devices and then move those devices into the ThingsBoard dashboard so that we can display the data like, here's the temperature, here's the humidity. Now, while this is a good starting point, I have written my own custom parser, which I will share with you. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up now. All right, so in this parser, it's not that you have to know any of the code. I will create another video that will show you how to add additional devices. And even with very little to no coding experience, you should be able to make some updates here and add additional devices. So here's an example. Again, the LC01 that we just saw, we can see that here's all of the specific data. And if you look again and we go back to the codec, we see that this data is being returned. So if I go back and I look at the LC01 device profile, LC01 codec, we see that there's multiple return statements here that are below, but specifically the ones where it gives us an update on the device here, where there's the relay status, timestamp, all of these things right here. Come back here into the code. Okay, and if we just temporarily paste this right here, we can see that we're grabbing the data that is being passed here, and then we're storing it into event in our telemetry. And those in our telemetry, that will show up specifically in the devices. There's a field, and we'll get to see, oh, here's our updated telemetry. Same thing, relay status. We grab the value of what was passed up from ChirpStack for our relay status. And so ChirpStack parsed it out, stored it as this variable, and then we grab that data. So that's where this is coming from. And so this allows us then to have a whole bunch of different devices, have all of them parsed, and then easily then integrate that right into our devices as the data is passed up or the telemetry is passed up for each of our devices. So now when we go back to our ThingsBoard, when we're here, we will delete what is there and we will paste this in. And in this other video where I will show you how to add in each of these devices, I'll also show you how to update this so that you can do some debugging when maybe you don't know what is being passed and you want to kind of debug and figure that out and then work from there. And another thing here is the TBEL is ThingsBoard version of JavaScript. So if you take this code and paste it into something like an AI agent and runs through, you have to make sure that you say it's TBEL, because the format between that and JavaScript are a little bit different. They're similar, but TBEL does not have all of the functionality. Now, ThingsBoard recommends that you use this for performance reasons. So as long as you get it close and you can work through it, then recommend that, or you can try JavaScript. We're going to go and skip the data link converter for now. And then this is where we will copy this HTTP endpoint URL. We will copy this. And now we're going to go back to our ChirpStack. One thing I'm going to just point out right now. Oh, and then go ahead and I'm going to click add here. So now it's added. And if you'll notice here too, is that not only did it do this integration, but that specific data converter, the parser that we wrote, that is stored here. So you can go back and edit that as you need. And right now there's no devices. So we're going to go back to ChirpStack. We're going to go down to applications, and then we're going to come over here to integrations. Underneath integrations, we're going to go to HTTP, and we're going to paste that endpoint here, and then we're going to hit submit. Now at this point, we have connected our ChirpStack to our ThingsBoard. So anytime there is a message that is being displayed here, and if we come here, anytime that, we'll just grab one of these, anytime these events are happening, it is now going to take this data and then pass it up to ThingsBoard. And then ThingsBoard, we're going to do that parsing again. So it is kind of interesting that we do parsing at this level. So we take the raw data from the sensors and we parse it. And then again in ThingsBoard, we take that data again as it is passed up, and then we parse it yet once again. And the reason for that is to get it ready so that it will show up here in devices. So now as the devices are starting to, in their time intervals, starting to send the data, as that's piped up, we're going to start to see the devices show up here. And so now we've already seen the devices to show up here. And if we go to the LC01, we will go to the latest telemetry. And this is why we wrote, or we had those fields, because now these fields, right, they give us what our latest values are. And we can come back here to our temperature sensor, right? And our temperature sensor gives us, you know, the internal temperature, the external temperature, the temperature in Celsius, and then that conversion that I wrote, which is temperature in Fahrenheit. So all of this data is here. And then what we can do is then we can take this data and display it on a dashboard. Now, one thing that you will notice here is, let me close this down, is this soil and moisture sensor. It was not in the parsing. So what's going to happen here is all that was parsed out is the device profile. So in the next video, or one soon, I'm going to go through the steps of how to add that device profile back in so that you can do that. All right, to give you a little sneak peek of what this would look like in ThingsBoard, is we can see our current temperature in Fahrenheit currently is 65 degrees. So if I come over to, I have a dashboard set up, and in this dashboard, we can see that I've piped that data up to here. And so that temperature and humidity sensor now is being displayed here. The battery level is being displayed. And then the two relays that I had, the LC01, you can see this one is turned off. And then the other relay, which is connected to water, that one is currently turned on and spinning. And so from here, and in the future too, is this then enables me to, with additional work that I've done where I've piped back in using rule engines to be able to do the downloads, is that in the future then is I can click here and I can turn those fans on remotely, on and off remotely. I can also configure alarms that maybe if the temperature goes above a certain level at a certain temperature, then I can turn on a fan until it drops below a certain level. Or if the soil humidity gets below a certain level, I could turn on the water relay and then continue to pump water until it has reached the desired level. So this is a sneak peek of what you can do when you take the data all the way from ChirpStack, connect it up to ThingsBoard, and then be able to take that and really present it professionally so that you yourself or maybe clients can then easily interact with devices that could be, miles away from where they are with the LoRaWAN. Good luck connecting your ChirpStack to ThingsBoard. Please add comments and questions. Thank you. Bye.